Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Sacred Soul Conversation. My name is Roberta Robbins, and welcome to this call whenever you arrive to it. I have a very special guest with me today, and it is the dear Michele Laine is here. Her and I are going to have a little conversation about what Michele does in the world, what her magic is, because I actually want to go a little bit more deeper into some of the magic I already know she does. And we want to talk about the brain game. Now, I did do another conversation with Cindy, and Cindy and Michele are doing the brain game. They have your kind of choose your own adventure, which let me tell you, I love that. It reminds me of elementary school and those choose your own adventure books, which I personally love. Do you remember those books? I mean,
I do. Yeah, I love that.
they may even still be going. So we've decided to have a conversation today just so that you guys get to know Michele and you get to hear a little bit more about her magic and what she is going to be doing, particularly for the brain game, what her angle is going to be in helping you in her realm of magic, which I know is going to be well-being, the physical body, vitality. And we did touch a little bit about that on the other call I had with Cindy. And we'll talk a little bit, remind people what Cindy's doing too. But first of all, Michele, hello. It's lovely to meet you. Tell the people that are here watching our video, our call, a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you? What's your magic? All those things.
Yes, all the things, right? Thank you for taking the time to have me have this conversation with you and just share this beautiful magic out into the world. I totally agree. Everybody has their magic. And it's something that we don't always know that we have. And so what's fun about me being able to introduce myself to you is also sharing this journey and getting to where I'm at now. But I am Michele Laine. Hello. I am a self-mastery mentor. I am an embodiment coach. I am a life coach. I am a numerologist as of late, and just really diving into who I am, who I'm being at every moment. And what I really love is that I've been able to take my work out into the world and help people understand themselves better, rediscover who they are, claim what they want, and give themselves permission to go get it. And the reason that's such a big deal is because we operate in life so much, all the shoulds, the need tos, the have tos, the expectations, the conditions, to where sometimes we lose ourselves so much, we don't even remember who we're actually here to be, or who we are, know who we are. Our identity is wrapped up in all the things. And the reason I'm passionate about this is because I was that person as well, am that person, but I've learned a few things along the way that I get so excited about. And one of those things is the brain game. So all the tools and the teachings and all the possibility in going beyond what we thought life was, who we thought we were, and what's available to us, that we're not limited.
Yeah.
And I just love that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, listening to you, I mean, you're like adding the list of things of all into your magic box. I always call it what's in your magic box, what's in your
Right.
beautiful woven basket of sacred tools. And you and I have come into each other's lives since the summertime. Now we're here in January of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and we finally start to cross and come into certain groups, certain containers as of the past summer. And so I've gotten to hear and see and witness a little bit of your medicine, but we also have, I can tell we have some very similar language, we have very similar magic, though we're also unique in how we live that, how we embody it, and then how we share it out into the world. And you added numerology. Now you and I have been doing
Yeah.
so much numerology. I've been like over a couple years now of the numerology and going more deeply into that and adding that even in as you're helping and supporting people to like, I know even the foundational quantum numerology that Joy
Yes.
Kingsborough has been passionate about bringing to the world, and her medicine, how she does this is just so powerful, and it's awakening us to want to know more, to live it ourselves, and then share it back out. So we know numerology alone
Yeah.
can help
Just
people remember who they are, what they're here to do. I mean, the simplicity of that alone, that it's not even a little magic there. That's a big magic that you're going to be
yeah.
bringing to obviously what you're offering with the brain game, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to, we talk about health and wellness, and we can just kind of dive into this subject because it's so interesting what we think is not important to somebody else, because we've come so far in our journey, we forget back where we started, and that the simplest things that we know on a daily basis as teachers, healers, coaches, can oftentimes be the most impactful thing for those starting on their journey or diving in, or in this place of, I understand what you're saying. I just found myself in this whole new space of everything I just thought I knew shifted. And the world is experiencing that right now.
Mhm.
And there's no better time, obviously, than the beginning of the year when we have these cliche, we're going to really take care of ourselves and dive into our weight goals and all the things. It's a brand new year, brand new start. But how the world now is requiring of us something a little bit deeper than what we've done before. And it's ripped apart all of the normality and constructs that we knew to offer an opportunity to boost our immune system, to heal ourselves a little bit deeper, to take better care of ourselves. And I think like the passion that lies in me is like, it shouldn't have to take a pandemic to wake us up to that, but whatever wakes us up to that is great. And I'm not here to tell you how to live, how to eat, how to work out. That in itself is its own discovery journey. But I am here to help people really transition into exactly who they are, who they're being or pretending to be versus what they say they want, that integrity piece, right? We talk about integrity. We can talk about, and sometimes our space, and you and Cindy had a conversation on alignment. What does that mean to you? And it's like who you say you are, what you say that you want, and are you doing the things and willing to search that place of yourself to get where you want to go? And are they matching? Or do you feel like you're in this tug of war constantly in what you say you want, but then you find yourself not doing those things? And it's become such a habit that we're like, oh yeah, I just don't do that because I don't basically believe that it's possible. And all of this work, and especially like numerology, blew my mind, and how it paints this pathway, this blueprint into our patterns that we're born with. And we struggle so often with who we're being or what we're doing or all the judgment around it, because we don't understand that we're born into certain patterning. And when we can honor it in our strengths and our superpowers, and even in our challenges and our sabotages, we can navigate life with more ease and flow versus that push and pull and that hustle and that perfection chasing and all of the misery that we can cause ourselves when we're so adapt to beating ourselves up about what we haven't reached yet, right? Instead of truly feeling into where we are in this moment so we can know where we're headed next. And I love your sacred soul conversation. I'd love to connect that in, because one of the things I start with my clients is really working through any micro or macro trauma, stress. Their nervous system is flipped upside down. Oftentimes it's running the show. We're living in this fight or flight frenzy. We feel like we have to keep up with a to-do list, that we need to make it longer. We judge ourselves if we don't get everything perfectly finished. And it's not our fault. Like, it's the world that we live in. But when we take a look at that in terms of how we do one thing is how we do everything, and we're willing to peel apart some of those layers and clear those cobwebs and who we're being in that moment with our well-being and what we want to feel like on a daily basis, we don't have to succumb to the same old thing. And when you open that up, there's this creativity and intuition and passion for yourself like you've never had, and so much love available, where the self-love doesn't become this cliche thing. I remember even in my 20s hearing people talk about self-love, and I thought, oh, that'd be so nice. I hope one day I can find that, because I knew even then I was in a pattern of forcing myself into a box and making myself meet these goals and expectations out of habit, and not really even knowing why, but not knowing how to stop it.
So what I'm hearing, to break it down and all that beautifulness.
Sorry, I'm like get on a tangent.
So you can see Michelle is passionate, and there's a lot of layers in there for us to return back to ourselves, to clear away the static, that's around us, obstacles, energies, the things of whether it's environmentally ours, the society, what's outside the door, or those patterns and habits that we have been birthed into, that we've taken on, and to really come into the awareness of the light, the dark, the shadows. What sides do we
Yes.
want to be dancing with? What needs a little fine tuning? Because it seems as though, you're focusing definitely. I mean, we can say, the health and wellness. It seems like your path is to help people come to that still point of vitality of themselves, to really come into embodiment of who they are so they can feel themselves, hear themselves, know themselves, love themselves. And with doing that work, your vitality naturally returns. It
Yeah.
feels, and I can say this from personal experience, when we have all these other things that are going on and we not paying attention, or we get stuck in a pattern and habits that maybe are not the highest serving of us, and we feel it, we know it, everything starts getting clogged up, backed up, heavy, congested. And it's almost like the pathway of your medicine is to help people walk through that journey, to make way to come back to the core soul self of vitality for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, they clear the way so they can feel in their body who they actually can become, that they
Mhm.
can achieve what they want, and know without judgment, really, like what's standing in our way. Because often the other thing we're not doing is looking. We're not taking a look in the mirror. Well, we are, but not in that deeper sense, right? We're living in that expectation and condition and that judgment. And what I love about the brain game is how it breaks down. The first 4 weeks is breaking down all of the entanglement of our past, and understanding how our brain works, and understanding that it doesn't have to become the enemy. We're not separate, and that we can love this body. This body is so much more than just this physical thing that we judge and we think and wish looked something else or wanted something to be different. But it's like this beautiful container, this vessel of experience. While we're here on earth, we're not here really all that long. We forget that we're a soul and a spirit in a physical body, and then we fall prey to these limitations that we can't have that vitality, or we're of a certain age and it's not allowed anymore. We just must go with the flow and all the constructs that we learn. And then we see stories about people who've overcome it, and for some reason we think that's not for us. And it's the brain game opens us to the possibility and experience of that transformation, of the awareness of what we're doing or how we're being in the moment, the acceptance piece, which also goes so nicely with that love, that permission piece, right? And when we can accept where we are, we can actually know if we truly are loving it or not liking it. And then when we don't worry so much about those places where we're thought we had to be so worried, like whatever weight we're at, our ideal body type, whatever that is, we can accept where we are and let that go.
Yeah.
And there's such a movement between what's happening in the brain and what gets embodied in the inside the body, through emotion, through stuck energy, like you were saying. And there's tools that we can learn on our own to help us every single day. And then the nature of the brain is we're going to forget a lot of those along the way too. And our experience is going to be different right now than it would have been 6 months ago, or would be 6 months ahead. And we get to dive into these same universal tools to apply to our well-being, our health, our wellness, our wealth. Cindy's going into wealth and activation, because what really is truly down at the core is that deeply rooted relationship with self, with this body, with our perception of all of it, and how that's the driving force behind everything else, every other area of our life. But we don't always see ourselves in every single area at every moment. These brain game experiences allow us to experience ourselves in all these different areas, picking and choosing our adventure to what's most present for us in this moment. We may want all of it, and that's fantastic. What's your heart crying for right now? and then giving you the tools and the experience and the practicality to live it and be a part of that transformation in the 10 weeks as it grows one on top of each other.
Yeah. So let's talk about the top notes of this, as we keep on saying, brain game. What the heck,
Right.
the top notes of it is. And I mean, you guys are doing it's a 10-week program. It's an hour-long session every week with the homework is because must say I've done the brain game back in the late summer to mid-September, I think was when it was running. And it is a program that, you're living it, you're walking it. Even when you run through it once, it's then tools you take and you start going deeper and deeper and deeper. Because like you said, life 6 months ago looks different than this now moment to the 6 months that are coming. So we have to be moving and shifting because we are just living and moving and shifting and on this beautiful journey. So the brain game, I like to refer to it as, of course, what it is, in the sense it's emotional mastery, going deep within ourselves, understanding ourselves, unwinding, untangling, as you said, those stories, those energies that are there, and really witnessing ourselves within our mind, within our physical body, within our soul, within our spirit, all the levels, witnessing those areas and allowing them to come to the surface. It's a journey over 10 weeks that takes you through different steps and stages to get you ready to be more aware. I would say definitely aware and empowered on whatever area you're taking it. So whether it's wealth with Cindy, wealth activation, or with Michele and focusing on that vitality, that well-being and the physical body. But we know that we're so many different, we're everything. Really, honestly, we're everything. So it really comes to, where are you? If you're thinking, well, I want to know more about this, and we'll give you guys all the information, but where to go, whether to go, is it wealth? Is it vitality, well-being? You will know, I would say, tap into what's the high point in your body, in your mind, that's speaking to you, saying, this is where I would love for my soul to focus on right now, and what direction. Because the thing is, once you do the brain game, you can take all these pieces and maneuver them to wherever else you need it in your life, right? That's the thing, right? It's
Absolutely.
like, you can then
Yes.
take it. So, Cindy and Michele are giving you kind of like, a starting avenue, which are very important top ones that I think a lot of us are dealing with, our abundance, our wealth, our worth of what we feel that we can bring in, and how we work with finances and money and abundance. And then also, who isn't looking after our own personal well-being, immunity, how actually vibrant we are, how we feel about our body. I mean, it's so much. These are top note ones. So it's perfect that the two of you are choosing these.
Yes, and we've worked together as well, bringing our magic together, which has created some really beautiful synergy, because you don't have like health. When your health is in order, your wealth follows through. When your wealth is in order, your health follows through, because it creates this pool of possibility in yourself, in those main places: health, wealth, relationships. And so when we have that bounty in the relationship with ourself, even if it's imperfect or just beginning, or we're learning and constantly rediscovering, because this is not a one and done thing. You're not going to take the brain game and be cured for life and nothing will ever bother you again. You're a human being. You're going to catch yourself in your stories continuously. You're going to create new stories. Today we'll create a story that we'll discover later. Like we never know. And we get to embrace that. And with that willingness, what I would say is, where are you willing to do that work right now? This is deep work. This is connecting the perceptions of the mind and being willing to shift those and understand them and love them, and embrace all those places where you've been like, oh, that makes so much more sense now. And then explore this new area that's going to perhaps lean us into this new space of discomfort where the growth actually happens, but you're there and you're supported. You don't have to do it all at one time. You get to take from it the one or two things that you can apply in your life and really feel the difference and how that shapes you. And then that can build more curiosity and openness to where else you want to explore in life. Because I think we always go wrong when we think it's going to be a one and done magic pill that we take. And I think we also go sideways when we think that we don't have anything else to work on. And being human will always, it's like a never ending, beautiful soup of ingredients that we get to take out and put in and stir it up and taste it. And this is the outcome that I want, based off the choices I'm making. And there's a really big self responsibility piece that gets taught in the brain game, this ownership piece that oftentimes we're not looking at life through that lens. So for me, going through the brain game really opened up all those spaces where it's like mind blowing perception of, wow, this is where I've kind of kept myself in my own label or my own box. And there's a world beyond it. And so what I'd love to bring, as well is, the creator, Joy Kingsborough, is where we share a common bond as a mentor. And what's beautiful is I've known Joy just about a year now. We've been working together a little less than a year, but her passion of bringing science and the mystical together to break it down into understanding opens up such a world of possibility and creativity for ourselves, like I said. But what I've discovered in myself is this place to love that much harder, right? Even more in those spaces where I may be caught up in the judgment and spinning around in that, you guys know that feeling, that loop, right? That emotional loop of, I'm never going to get out of this, or I'm broken, or all those judgments we put on ourselves, to find the freedom on the other side of that, to create this and statement that this is where I am now and all of this is possible. I want health and vitality, and this is a really great place for me to start, because then I can choose what's going to feel best for me next without being told this is exactly what you have to do. This is the program that you must follow. There's such a big space between what works for each of us. There's such an individuality in that intuitive knowing, and this is the right step for me, or this is just not even resonating with me. And I think if we could just open, one, making the brain game a household name, helping it for teens, helping it for couples, helping it for health, for wealth, for relationships, for understanding ourselves better at every moment, and having your partner, your friends, everyone else coming from the same language and helping each other remember. And we're all in this personal responsibility place without blame or shame or guilt getting in the way. What kind of world would that be? How can we extend that out? And Joy's taught that through this beautiful masterpiece of hers, it opens you up to the experience that you have, and you may want to be teaching that later. So she's a beautiful teacher in helping us become other teachers of this beautiful opening to ourselves and to deeper consciousness and deeper understanding, but breaking down the science that's proven and real and true. But the beauty is having the tools to self continue. You can always fast track with a coach, which is what I love telling my clients. They know they come to me because they're in this pattern of there's stuff to clear first, and then we give you tools to continue navigating. This is an area for you to explore the tools to navigate wherever you are in your journey, and then have the support you need if something deeper comes up. And I think it's a space, especially in health and wellness and well-being, that isn't always offered. We usually give up on ourselves and take off and say this isn't for us, and then we put ourselves last again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see that all the time. I think that's a natural thing that we've all gone through, that we all do in certain ways. Like,
Right?
that's just life, right? And
Yeah.
then I see that with certain clients myself, like they ebb and flow, ebb and flow. But I love the piece, you said it's self-responsibility.
Yeah.
You are empowering yourself. The brain game gives you these tools of awareness within yourself and where you're at and how to run through this spiral. It's like an energetic spiral, and how
Mhm.
can you move yourself up into a place, and I don't even want to say up, but into a vibrational alignment, wherever that directional might be for you. But typically it's a higher frequency, right? That moves up.
Yeah.
And so we get that choice and the tools, right, from brain game, showing you this is where you are. Here's where you are. Understand and look around to why that is. Understand it, embrace it, love it more. And where do you want to go? What couple of steps, or even one step, can you take to move that frequency up to a higher state? And here are some
Yeah.
choices. Here are some options on how to do that.
Yeah, and we're going to teach you how to feel into the emotions that may arise. So you can make that decision point and then decide to lean in a little bit more. So you have that sustainable success.
Mhm.
When you have that foundation, then you can move into the how steps. We do it backwards. We look for the how first, and then we judge ourselves if we get off track. We forget to stay consistent and in that determination with it. But when this understanding comes first and who we're being in that moment, who we want to be, and how we want to show up for ourselves and prioritize ourselves and be in integrity with what we say we want, that's a complete different space to produce the outcomes that we want. Right? It's such a beautiful space. So I'm super excited about being able to offer this new journey through the brain game, being able to teach what I've experienced the last 5 years of my, I studied neurotransformation. So again, those places we've embodied these old stories and patterns and how we can release them, and really diving into this next layer of intuition and owning my spirituality and honoring those reclamations of who I am, to bring in all the magic, the intuition, the guidance, the channeling, the beauty into all these pieces, to mend them all together and just help those that it's calling to. And then what I love is every person that joins in is going to get a breakthrough to alignment blueprint with me, which helps them understand themselves that much better and really uncover that really integral place where we feel stuck. There's always going to be one, and it'll move you through that and give you actionable steps, as well as the things that you'll be learning with the brain game. So I'm super excited to see how it all plays out. I'm excited for the people who've already signed up. It's not too late. We've got plenty of time, and I'm just I'm thrilled because of the lifetime access to this. You know, I took the brain game also. I may have actually been in it with you before we actually knew each other better, with Joy. You get a once a year opportunity to take it again with Joy when she offers it. You have lifetime access to the replays. So if 2 o'clock on Thursdays for 10 weeks doesn't work in your calendar, you can always catch the replay and be equally as effective.
Oh,
Right.
you'll
And
want to
then
redo the replays. I'm just like knowing,
we,
walking through this. These are valuable tools that it's great that you can go back and go, I need to dive into that a little bit more deeper,
yeah,
or there was something in there. I need to rehear that piece to help me, to
right.
support me. Yeah.
And when I love that right there, because what you'll find over and over again, and this is from experience, is you go looking for that one piece, and all of a sudden you heard three others that you didn't catch because you just weren't there in that space in that moment. But we're never who we are right now in this moment than we were before, even if things can feel like we've been here a long time. You've learned things, you've experienced things. We've all made it through 2020. We're going into 2021. Who do you want to be? And what do you want? And what is it going to take for you to get there? Because if it's the same thing you've been doing, here's an opportunity to try something different, because those same things haven't been producing the results. And it's time. It's time to dive in.
Well, welcome to our year 5. And this is the perfect time, everybody. And
Yes.
follow all of us, because we're all talking about the numerology within our circle of
We're
what
all
that
picking
year.
up what we're putting down.
And I was saying this with Cindy, is call. This is also an excellent time that you guys are running this, January, February, running it through the start of the year, because we are fine tuning the last bit, almost the last echo of 2020, and just really getting clear of what we've learned, what we have discovered,
Yes.
what the new values are, so that when we hit into the spring, we're going to be ready to start to step new footprints into what's going. And why not be embodied and clear and empowered within yourself as you do that? So let's just give them a couple of some of the details. I was going to put all the links in so you guys can go check out more about Cindy, about Michele here. You can go check out Joy, who is the creatrix of the brain game, and quite a few of the things we've already mentioned through here, but also like details about all of it. So you guys are starting, yours is on January 14th,
Yes.
so Thursday.
Yes.
Cindy, as we said before, is the 11th, right?
Yep. It's all starting next week.
All starting next week from when we're recording this right now. So next week,
Right.
lots of time still here for you to sink and feel into it. Go check it out. 2
And please
p.m.
reach out. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, 2 p.m. for both times, which makes it really easy.
Yeah, so both at 2 p.m. now, in case you heard different dates before, guys, or at different times. So 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I know I have a lot of Eastern Standard Time people, which
Yes.
is where I am. So that would be 5 p.m. for you guys that are in Eastern Standard Time. And what were you just about to say? You were gonna.
I was just about to say, if you have questions, if you want to know more, if you want to have a conversation, I'm offering discovery calls as well. I want to talk to you. I want to see that this is the right fit for you, that you're ready. I want to answer questions that you have, whether it's in my module of the health, wellness, well-being portion, or in Cindy's with the wealth activation. We can have conversations to see what adventure fits you best with where you're headed for your intentions in this new year. And I would just really encourage you to reach out. It's so interesting how we often don't do that next step, right? We just go, oh, I don't think that's for me. Or, we don't honor those questions. It's that next piece I was talking about, that place where like, oh, this is kind of calling to me. I don't want to bother this person. No, call me. I'm available. Let me talk to you, because I can tell you this from experience, it's the best investment that you'll make in yourself. And you won't believe where you are 10 weeks later from where you were. And you'll be so excited about what's possible and going forward. And you'll be more clear on where you really want to go and what's going to be the best fit for you. And you don't have to stay stuck, and you can move through any of these places in life where you just feel like there's got to be something more.
Yeah.
This is that opportunity. And like I said, I get excited about
Yeah.
it.
And I just want
It
to say,
leads to so much more.
I want to say to those of you that are watching this video that you know me, you've worked with me, all the different things with me, I'm literally saying to you guys, so listen here, this is one of those things that every single person should have in their toolbox. It should be taught from the get-go, like in elementary school. It should be something that's
Ugh.
woven through every stage. And like I said, when I did it last summer, I was like, you'll know a little bit of it, part of it, because you see it in society and you get taught, but this is like the fullness, the understanding, the completion of the full package. And it really is something that we all should be taught, and that we should understand about ourselves, about our emotions, about our journey. So this is something to pay attention to. Not all the other things that I talk about, promote, and do. Those are, sometimes be depending on what track, what path you're on, where you are in your life. But this, the brain game, is like we all should have it. So please, if something stirring within you from this call, from the other one I did, definitely go have a look. Reach out to Michelle here, reach out to Cindy. And even for those that work with me, if you're like, hey, Roberta, I want to talk to you about your experience a little bit more, or I have people already reaching saying, can you help me decide which one? Because you know me, because you've been working with me, reach out to me too. I'll definitely support and help you.
Yeah.
And, helping you figure out what is the best avenue for you at this moment in this time of your life. So
I love that. And I think the most special gift that you get from this experience is not only other people experiencing it with you, but a community afterwards to keep in touch with, to check in with, where you can have any question under the sun and they're going to get it because they've been through it. And you've got all the support of people who've been through it in the past here to help you as well. So you get a beautiful little gift of this community in there.
yeah.
That's just a support system that keeps you moving forward.
We have said so much in our last little bit here. So details we will add. Do you want to add any last thing? I know that we have to wrap up this call. Any last thing that you want them to know? And you guys know that obviously I will be tagging all the information that needs to be with this video and social posts for it. So anything else, Michelle, before we wrap
Yeah,
it up?
I would just say trust yourself. If you're on a journey, if you're connecting more into your soul, if you're connecting more into your physical body, if you're connecting more on a mental, energetic, emotional, physical, or spiritual space, this is for you, because we are still human. And understanding the human mind in connection with our body is everything to all the aspects of life that we wish, and bigger dreams, and just being who we are and loving ourselves more. And it's an investment well spent. It's time well spent, and it'll change your life in the most beautiful ways.
That pretty much just says it all. Just go back and listen to the last little bit, guys, just right there. So thank you, Michele, for being here and us having this conversation. Thank you for everybody that has connected in and has taken the time to listen to what we want to share and to offer you, and reach out to us. That's all I say. Reach out to us. We're all here. We're all part of this beautiful community of the Brain Game, and I can tell you, it will most likely open up other avenues of other doors because once you come,
Divine timing, absolutely, based on divine
there'll be
timing.
otherwise. So anyhow,
Oh,
have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you, Michele. And we'll be seeing you guys soon, hopefully, in the Brain Game.
thank you.